Kathy Dana is a Northern California painter committed to revealing the positive energy in all things. Her work has appeared in International Artist Magazine, Southwest Art Magazine, and Artist Magazine. She most recently exhibited at Sparrow Gallery in Sacramento this July with her solo show Road Trip. This will be her 6th year participating in SAC Open Studios. Welcome, Kathy.
Well, hello. I've got my mask just in case.
Excellent.
I actually bought this at a gallery. An artist makes these. I bought this at Archival. So.
That's wonderful. That's beautiful.
Really fun.
Thank you. So let's get started. And I see that you already have some work behind you that I hope you'll talk a little bit more. But tell us about what you're currently working on.
Well, because I just recently had my show in July, that's what I was working on. So right now, what I'm working on is all in my head. It's something completely different than what those of you who have seen the Road Trip show experienced. And if you haven't seen it, it's all posted on my website. But I don't know how many other artists would agree with this, but by the time you finish a show, you're already someplace else. And you're like, oh, that work is so yesterday. So right now, just in my head, I'm on kind of what's the work for tomorrow. But I want to acknowledge the theme of tonight's show, Painting Daily Life. And I also want to acknowledge what a phenomenal lineup you've got coming after me in this segment. Some really great artists. But so how my work ties into painting daily life, so far it's centered around sights in life, things you might see on a walk, on a hike, on a trip, on a drive, magic light in the afternoon, just capturing the energy of those things, buildings, trees, things on the sidewalk even, landscape. I am an artist that likes to bring joy to people because that brings joy to me, that first I have the connection with the art, and then it's great to see the collectors have that connection.
That's wonderful. So tell me a little bit about your artistic practice. Is the work you're creating just coming from what you remember from these walks, or are you working with photographs?
Well, I do a lot of photography. Sometimes I might not even be in art mode. I might just be going from one place to another and I see something, oh my goodness. And thank God for iPhones, because out it comes. And then maybe a couple of years later, that turns into a painting. But I just love the opportunity to stop and capture whatever it is I'm seeing for future consideration. And I do a lot of work with the photograph. As you guys know, I'm a painter. And a lot of what makes a great painting is the aspect ratio, the size of canvas you put it on, the way it's cropped and all of that. So I do a lot of that thinking on the computer with the image, make a lot of those decisions before I start painting.
So there's a lot that happens sort of behind the scenes before you're actually committing paint to canvas.
Definitely. The first thing I have to do is really decide, why do I love this? And bond with this scene. And if I don't bond with it, well, okay, next. Because we're going to spend a lot of time together once the painting starts. But so then it moves on to capturing the gesture. What is the energy going on? What do I see? What are the relationships between negative space and positive space? And artists will understand that. And I hope collectors out there can appreciate that. I did have one collector come to studio tours who said, oh, you really do a lot with negative space. And he wasn't an artist, he wasn't a painter. And I thought, you get me. So, even the relationship, this painting back here, the one with the brick building, that was in my Road Trip show. That's actually downtown Plymouth. But what I loved about that were the angles, but also the negative space. You can see the building that's behind the awning and the bit of sky there. And I spent a while getting those angles right. And I think that's really important. So I have a lot of fun with that. And then layering color upon color upon color. I'm an acrylic painter. A lot of people say, oh, what a great oil painting. So I love that it's mistaken for oils. Because that's really, I did start out very young with oils. And I kind of moved into acrylics later because till I could quit my day job, oils just didn't dry fast enough.
Do you work on more than one painting at a time? Or do you tend to focus on just one at a time?
I do. I usually will have in the beginning stages, I might have as many as 6 or 7 or 8 going, because that's where my head is in that beginning stage. And then I move through, usually it takes me 4 or 5 sessions to finish a painting. Once I get to the final sessions, then I might be focusing on just one and then the other and the other. And part of it just is letting the paint dry. It's really important that the paint is dry before you go on to the next phase. And I've got all this paint. I'm like, well, what do I do with it? Well, I'm going to move to this one over here. So when I am working on a show, my stuff is all over the house. It's all over everywhere because I'm working on a lot of pieces.
Excellent. So what would you say are the things that most influence you or inspire you in your work?
Well, I would say it's really the energy, first of all, of people, the energy of my fellow artists. We often get together and share our joys and we share our angst as artists. So I draw a lot of energy from my colleagues, friends, contemporaries in the art field. And then the talents of ones I've worked with in my advertising career. I have decades in advertising. And the artists, the writers, the directors, the musicians, the photographers, just the immensely creative people I've been surrounded by in that environment. Just had an absolutely huge environment, huge influence in terms of where I am now. And then also artists I've collected. I also collect. I don't want to see my work everywhere. So
I always love to hear that artists collect, that there's that exchange that's happening amongst our own community.
yes, very much so.
So where is the best place for people to sort of view your work? And are you going to be open this weekend for people to actually physically come by, or just is it all virtual for you?
Well, being open this weekend isn't something Verge wants to see. So no, I'm not going to be open this weekend. But I'm not going to live stream, but I am going to do a painting. I'm going to start a piece and finish a piece over the course of the weekend. I'm going to post every 30 minutes where the painting is in progress, but also, and there might be some little videos and things in there, but I'll also post things that are available, things that are for sale, things that I want people to know about. But I do want to make sales. It's not the end all be all this year, but people have come to, this is my 7th time. I was wrong when I did the bio, but people come and they buy gifts for themselves. They're kind of in that, hey, the holidays are coming. I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to buy something for friends. My website has got a lot built out. I have a store there and I've got things categorized by price point. So that's where people can see. And then the way I'm selling is, we've all kind of been forced into this virtual world right now. And that's not necessarily my thing as an artist because I love people, I love the engagement and that sort of thing. So you can see what's for sale and I'm asking people to text or call and we can do the sale over the phone and then we can do curbside pickup, we can deliver locally, we can ship not locally.
That's wonderful. There's lots of
That's
options.
how we're going to do it.
That's
And
great.
I want to say I've had a little fun with some holiday characters that we painted last year for a show. So I've got Christmas mugs for sale this year for the fun of it. There's 4 of them, 4 different characters. Those are on my website. And just for the heck of it. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So any last minute thing you'd like to share with our audience tonight about your work?
I'd like to share why I think studio tours, or an experience I've had on studio tours that's really made it special. Last year, I had a passerby who came in, and it was a gentleman who happened to have he'd flown down from Seattle to accompany his cousin to his chemo treatment for cancer. And he came and he stayed and stayed and stayed. And he just felt like he was in such a sanctuary because we do an outdoor environment. We had live music. We hired an acoustic guitar player to come and play. And I said, hey, if your cousin, this was his cousin, if your cousin is feeling okay after the treatment, why don't you guys both come back? And they did. And his cousin had just come out of chemo. He sat, listened to the acoustic guitar. The gentleman who had first come in sat and had wine and listened to the music, and he was just so appreciative. And to me, that's what it's all about. So I just wanted to share that story.
That's a beautiful story to share. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Excellent. Well, I am very pleased to have met you and looking forward to when I can actually see your work in person.
Well, me too. That'll be great. I'm in a bunch of auctions right now for charity. This is a time of giving, and that's where we're at in brainstorming the next show.
Excellent. Do you know when that will be?
Well, no, because we're approaching galleries and different venues right now, both here in Sacramento and other cities. So we'll see where it goes.
I wish you the best of luck with that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us tonight, Kathy.
Oh, thank you.